Alright, let's talk about the Genshin Impact 6.2 leaks, because this banner lineup is shaping up to be one of the wildest we've seen in a long time. And before I go any further, let me get the usual disclaimer out of the way. None of this is officially confirmed. Until Hoyoverse drops the livestream and makes the announcements themselves, everything here should be taken as speculation. That said, the leaks we've been seeing, especially the ones circulating on Reddit and other community hubs, line up with past patterns in some pretty convincing ways. And if they turn out to be true, 6.2 is about to put a lot of pressure on everyone's Primo Gem stash. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg, especially for the Nodcry release. Lootbar is offering the all-in-one pack and the 6,480 pack for only $69 compared to $100 in-game. That's a $31 saving. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase, just like with in-game top-ups. And remember, the double bonus for your first purchase has been reset in 6.0. Beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Honkai Star Rail. Lootbar has over 100,000 satisfied users, and also supports PS5 and Xbox top-ups. New users can get an extra 10% discount, while returning users get 5%. The link is in the description. So, what exactly are we looking at? According to the leaks, 6.2 is expected to feature the debut of Durin, a rerun for Neuvillette, a rerun for Escoffier, the cryo support some of you might still be missing, and yes, even a rerun for Venti. On top of that, the patch is supposedly bringing the long-awaited Mondstadt chronicled Wish, something players have been asking for ever since Inazuma and Sumeru got their versions. That's already a stacked lineup. But let's break it down one by one and talk about why this combination is sparking so much discussion. Let's start with the newcomer, because Durin is really the centerpiece of this update. For weeks now, players have been speculating whether he's going to be the so-called 5-star Xiangling that leakers have been hyping up. And honestly, the way Hoyoverse is pairing him in this banner makes that comparison hard to ignore. Think about it. His release is supposedly dropping alongside Neuvillette, one of the most dominant Hydro DPS units in the entire game right now. That's not just a coincidence. It feels very intentional, almost like Hoyoverse is telling us, remember the old-school Child plus Xiangling vaporized synergy? Here's the next generation 5-star version of that concept. If Durin really does end up being a reliable off-field pyro applicator, he could slot into Neuvillette teams the same way Xiangling did with Chilled. And considering how much Neuvillette thrives on forward vaporized setups, this pairing could be incredibly strong. Of course, that depends heavily on the details of Durin's kit, things like his internal cooldown on pyro application, whether his buffs are baseline or constellation locked, and how much energy recharge he'll actually need to function smoothly. We've seen this kind of hype cycle before. Remember when people called every other new pyro character the Xiangling replacement? Yeah, most of those fizzled out once the beta numbers came out. So I'd be cautious about crowning him meta-defining until we see the hard data. Still, the potential is definitely there, and the timing of his release couldn't be more perfect. Now let's talk about Neuvillette. This guy hasn't even been out that long, but Hoyoverse seems eager to bring him back already. And honestly, it makes sense. He's not only one of the most popular Fontaine characters, but also one of the strongest Hydro units the game has ever seen. His entire kit is designed to dominate damage charts, and for a lot of players, missing his first banner was a huge regret. Pairing him with Durin isn't just convenient, it's synergy bait. A Hydro main DPS who excels in vaporized setups, plus a brand new Pyro sub-DPS who might apply Pyro more consistently than Xiangling? That's a recipe for a ton of hype, and also a ton of pressure on players who feel like they need both units to make the most out of their pulls. And that's kind of the catch here. Hoyoverse knows exactly what they're doing. By stacking banners with synergy like this, they push players to spend Primo Gems on multiple characters in the same patch, rather than spacing it out. It's clever, but also stressful if you're not sitting on a mountain of wishes. Next up is Escoffier. Now, she's not as flashy or universally meta-defining as someone like Bennett or Kazuha, but she's still a solid cryo support who adds a lot of flexibility for freeze and melt teams. Her rerun timing here is really interesting, though. When you look at the overall lineup, you've got Pyro from Durin, Hydro from Neuvillette, and then Cryo from Escoffier. It feels like Hoyoverse is deliberately building a multi-element synergy theme into this patch, possibly to encourage players to experiment with freeze or vaporize heavy team comps. Whether that's intentional design or just coincidence, the end result is the same. Players are tempted to spread their primos even thinner. And then there's Venti. This one's fascinating because his rerun ties directly into the Mondstadt chronicled wish. Historically, whenever Hoyoverse has done these region-themed chronicled banners, the Archon of that region hasn't been included in the pool if they had their own event banner at the same time. For example, Raiden Shogun wasn't in the Inazuma pool, and Nahida wasn't in the Sumeru one. So if these leaks are correct, and Venti really is running his own limited banner in 6.2, then don't expect to see him included in the chronicled wish itself. Instead, that banner would likely focus on Mondstadt's other limited 5 stars, like Albedo, Eula, and Klee, all of whom have historically had some of the longest gaps between reruns. This is huge news for Mondstadt fans. It means you might finally get a chance to pick up characters you've been waiting on for years. But again, it adds even more pressure, because now, instead of choosing between just Durin or Neuvillette, players also have to think about whether they want to roll the dice on Mondstadt's lineup. Another detail worth paying attention to is the timing. If Hoyoverse sticks to their usual 6-week schedule, version 6.2 should land right at the start of December, likely around December 3rd. And that's important because it overlaps with the holiday season. Historically, Hoyoverse has used this window to stack some of their most desirable reruns and flashy debuts. We saw it in Fontaine, we saw it in Sumeru. Basically, if you've been playing for a while, December patches are almost always stacked. It's a smart move on their part because people are more likely to spend money around the holidays. And if these leaks are correct, 6.2 is going to continue that trend in a big way. Now, how's the community feeling about all this? Honestly, pretty split. On one hand, a lot of people are thrilled. Durin looks like he could finally give Pyro mains something new, and his synergy with Neuvillette could be game-changing. On the other hand, plenty of players are skeptical. They've seen the Zhangling replacement claim too many times to fully buy into the hype. There's also concern about how much Hoyoverse might be forcing synergy here. If you feel like you have to pull both Durin and Neuvillette just to unlock their full potential, that's a problem, especially for free-to-play or low-spending players. Add in Escoffier's rerun, Venti, and the entire Mondstadt chronicled pool, and you've got one of the most primo-gem draining patches in recent memory. When you step back and look at it, version 6.2, if the leaks are accurate, could end up being a turning point. It's not just about one new character. It's about how Hoyoverse is deliberately stacking synergy, reruns, and region-themed banners in a way that hits every type of player. New ones, veterans, spenders, and free-to-plays. Whether you're saving for Durin, eyeing Neuvillette's rerun, or finally trying to grab Eula or Albedo in the chronicled wish, this patch has something for everyone. But it also forces tough choices, and that's exactly why leak season gets people talking. So what do you think? Are you excited about Durin's debut? Or are you more cautious after seeing how many supposed Zhangling replacements have come and gone? Are you planning to go for Neuvillette again, or are you saving your Primogems for Columbina in 6.3? And how do you feel about Venti rerunning at the same time as the Mondstadt chronicled wish? For me, the most interesting part of all this isn't just the characters themselves. It's how Hoyoverse is timing everything. The overlap with the holiday season, the mix of synergy-heavy banners, and the addition of Mondstadt's pool all point to one thing. 6.2 is designed to be a Primogem sync, maybe more than any other patch this year. But at the end of the day, remember, none of this is confirmed yet. We'll have to wait for the official live stream to see what's real and what's just community speculation. Until then, all we can do is prepare our gems, plan our pulls, and of course, debate endlessly in the comments. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you hyped, skeptical, or just stressed out about all the possible banners? Either way, 6.2 is shaping up to be one of the craziest updates we've had in a while. Save up to 25% on current banners at lootbar.gg, links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.